All right, Cleveland Browns faithful, welcome back to the Cleveland Pulse YouTube channel. Some early breaking news here on Sunday. Usually, NFL decision makers, general managers, owners, they fire people the Monday after the season ends. But the Browns, us, we're so special. We get to do it on the Sunday while the season is still going, while it's the last day of week 18 or the second last day of week 18. Because not only are we in an exclusive group of losers, 3 wins, 3-14, because we just know so quick who we need to get rid of because we can't hire anybody. But also, we're just so bad at making personnel decisions that we know. We're just like, yeah, we'll get rid of you. Dorsey, Dickerson, Ken Dorsey, Andy Dickerson out is what I'm trying to tell you. It's really bigger than that. It really is. And that's why I'm going to sit down here and yap, because symptoms. Dorsey, Dickerson are symptoms. The disease is much bigger. We know that, though. We understand that. Couple of things I want to get off my chest. Number one, I'm going to look into the camera. Alex Van Pelt, I sincerely apologize. I said for the last 4 years, however many years it was, I didn't know what you do. I didn't know what you contributed to the offense. I saw you just holding the clipboard on the sidelines. That would have been better than anything we saw from Ken Dorsey this year. This was the worst offensive display in a full season from the Cleveland Browns I've ever seen. Can anybody disagree? Can anybody dispute it? And you know what's sad? You had some amazing games with Jameis Winston. You had the snowball against Pittsburgh. You had fun moments with Jameis Winston, and it was still terrible. The end body of work was still horrible. Andy Dickerson, I mean, even if Andy Dickerson does an average job, like, does anybody care? You have to fill the shoes of Bill Callahan. Good luck with that. Bill Callahan, please come back. Please. I hope the Tennessee Titans organization fires your son from his head coaching duty. Sorry, that sounds messed up to say, but I'm just, as selfishly as a Browns fan. And then both you guys just roll into Berea. Come on in, please, because you should have known when Callahan left. I knew it was big. We covered it in the offseason. I didn't think it was going to be this important. I didn't know he was that good. Stefanski might have to give one, if not both, of his Coach of the Year awards to Bill Callahan. Especially if next year's a shit show. I got questions. If Callahan's not here next year and the offense is still terrible, I got a lot of questions. Here's what I want to talk about. Let's do some investigative reporting, in the middle of this recording. When did Kevin Stefanski give up play calling this year? This is an article from the Akron Beacon Journal on October 23rd. Stefanski gave up play calling. Stefanski announced Wednesday afternoon that offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey will take over the play calling duties starting with the Ravens game. The plan is for Dorsey to call the plays for the remainder of the season. That is from October 23rd. Okay. You might be wondering, why am I bringing this up? Why is this a big thing? Why is this what you want to talk about? Maybe you want to talk about it. Here's my issue. Here we go. I'll throw it up on the screen for you guys. October 23rd, 2024. So that was before the Ravens game. So let's go to the Browns schedule. And I stay with me here, guys. I'm trying to make a point here. So this is obviously the first time we played the Ravens. So that would be October 27th. So we played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This was week 8. Going into week 8, Stefanski gave up play calling. You think we're stupid? Who made the decision? That is the first question, and maybe the only question I'm asking the whole offseason. If I'm a reporter, if I'm local media, if I'm national news, hey, like this. It's not hard, guys. It's not hard to do your job. Ask hard questions. Sit there and hold these guys' feet to the fire because they're embarrassing. were in contention for the first overall pick again after you just came off a season where you were 11-6 and you had Joe Flacco playing some of the best football of his career, winning comeback player of the year, Myles Garrett defensive player of the year, Kevin Stefanski coach of the year, Jim Schwartz assistant coach of the year. That was 12 months ago. You put a bullshit performance on in Houston, 2 pick sixes, and then you have this whole offseason. Oh my God, what's in this? Ooh, Jerry Jeudy, Callahan's leaving, but we're going to pass the torch to Ken Dorsey. And here's another thing. While I'm in the middle of this rant, you're not smarter than the rest of the league. Ken Dorsey got fired mid-season by Buffalo. Why would you hire someone that a franchise who's way more competent than you, has been way more competent than you for years on end? Why would you hire the guy that they fired? You are not, Andrew Berry, you're not the smartest guy in the room. And newsflash, you don't want to be. If you're the smartest guy in the room, you're hanging out in a room full of idiots. You want to be like a mid-level intelligent or to the lower end of intelligent guy in the room, because that means you're hanging out with smarter people. And then you want to move to a different room. And then you want to move to a different room. We are not smart enough. We are not cute enough to do this, guys. If a coach gets fired midway through the season by a franchise who's had more success, more sustainability, and a better offense than you after the fact, why would you hire him? Okay. Back to me roasting the local news and the and the national media. I'd be sitting here with my clipboard. So let me get this straight. I don't care who's at the podium. It should be Barry. If Barry's up there, I would love to. Somebody phone me in because I want to ask him a question. Hey, Andrew. This article I have here from the Akron Beacon Journal, dated October 23rd, says that Stefanski's going to give up play calling going into week 8. Do you remember that? And he's going to say, yeah. Whose decision was that? Was it yours? Was it Stefanski's? Was it Jimmy's? Was it D's? Whose decision was that? Because you weren't even at game 8 and you're throwing in the towel. That's despicable. That's disgusting. Because when Stefanski gave up plays, I knew it, you knew it, and you might even not like Stefanski calling plays. But you know he's a better play caller than Dorsey. I hope you know that. I knew it. I think 90% of the fan base deep down, if they didn't know it then, definitely knows it now. Ken Dorsey's philosophies in the AFC North make no sense. Look at the pass attempts per game. Look at the lack of the running game. Look at the lack of the upfront creativity to make sure that the ball gets pounded on the ground. We don't get him out. And Dickerson, he couldn't even get guys lined up. He couldn't even get tackles and guards lined up correctly. Because what? They changed the illegal shift? And you don't even know what the rule change is? Oh my God. Like for the whole year, but for the first 5 or 6 weeks, we can't even get guys lined up. I got Jed Wills, and this might not be Dickerson's fault. I got Jed Wills letting a guy run right by him, unabated to the quarterback. Turn around like this. Yeah, Jed, he's behind you. Should have fired him after that game. But when Ken Dorsey started calling plays, he threw the towel in on the season. And week 8's despicable. That's disrespectful to the fans. That's just that pisses me off. That Stefanski wanted to keep his job, Barry wanted to keep his job, and the Haslams wanted a scapegoat. Whoever made the decision, hold someone's feet to the fire and make them tell you. If Barry tells you Stefanski made the decision to give up play calling, 1, I don't believe you, and 2, that just shows you how Barry thinks of Stefanski. Barry thinks Stefanski's his little puppet. And I think we just got a puppet master hierarchy going on here. Barry thinks Stefanski's his puppet. Stefanski thinks Watson's his puppet. The Haslams think Barry's their puppet. Why doesn't somebody step up and start taking action? Why do you have to get something done through somebody else? Embarrassing. Let me wrap up here before I have an aneurysm, but I have a couple of questions. Why wasn't Bubba Ventrone fired? That's one of my bigger questions. Deuce Staley, just get rid of all of them. Did anything you liked from the coaching position, the positional coaching staff, did you like any of it this year? I don't know. And yeah, if you want to make that an argument to say we should get rid of Stefanski, more power to you. It's valid. It's coherent. It's cohesion. If you think Stefanski hired all those guys, if you think he was the only person who had input, if you think he wasn't swayed by, upper brass analytics, DePodesta company saying, oh, Dorsey would go, Dorsey's numbers based on Amazon Web Services analytics and his EPA per play when it comes to this type of quarterback who's 6'2" and this weight, and he'll do really good with Deshaun Watson. Okay, whatever. That's all I got. Ventrone, when? Who's next? Are we done? Why would you only fire 2 people? And Ventrone clearly needs fired. I don't care how good of a year Bajork has had. I really don't. The coverage is abysmal. You're giving up kick return touchdowns in a system that doesn't even incentivize bringing the ball out. Ventrone next. Hopefully my mental peace, comes back next after that. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're commenting down below. What did I miss? Make sure you're subscribed. And I appreciate you being the pulse of it all. Peace.